Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Shooting the Shit. I'm Killer Shine, and I got my amazing co-host. What's your name, bro?
JP.
JP in the house. What's good, bro?
What's good? How was the weekend?
It was great, man. Got a lot to talk about. Lots to talk about. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was good. Doing the social distancing, trying to keep everybody, um, safe and healthy, doing the best. I understand the politics with Governor Newsom, but we still got to do our part. Be smart, but also, you know, be healthy and be safe.
I agree. I agree. Did you get a lot of good food?
Yeah, we'll just hang out with the family, just the basics of it, eat the turkey and hams and stuff. But it was pretty good overall. What about you guys?
Same. I just hung out with my girlfriend's family, came home and hung out with my family. Did not, do anything too crazy. Just had a couple of shots. Had a couple
Oh
of shots of some
man,
tequila, ate some birria, a turkey, just pretty much dabbled in some new kind of foods and stuff. It was dope though. It was a good time.
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. So let's jump into it, right? Let's get into today's episode. Today's first topic, man, we're gonna talk about is Black Friday and the chaos. Black Friday violence, man. What's going on out there, man? So someone got shot out there in Arden. There's
Man,
a lot of drama. People are fighting over PS5s, the Xboxes.
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it.
I,
Sacramento, it's its own little world right now. It's going through its own inner city
but
politics.
the crazy part is, it's
But
not just Sacramento. It's everywhere.
it is. It is. Right now, we're, crazy times, people going through a lot of, mental health and insecurity and, financial, it's taking a lot of burden on people.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
people just seeing the spotlight of it. So they
Yeah,
really don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
no,
So
for
a lot of it
reals.
plays into a factor of it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's people that are locked inside, and they're finally letting, like, kind of like, opening up to stuff. Like, I think that a lot of people, it's crazy enough as it is on Black Friday, but when you have
Yeah.
people locked in indoors for so long that they're ready to bust out like that, then you're gonna probably see some
Yeah.
crazy chaos. I mean, I think it just kind of, it's the X factor on top of what the chaos already is for Black Friday. It just makes people more irritable, but at the same time, it's like, dude, like, what, it's not really worth shooting somebody or getting shot for, video game devices, or sweatshirts
Yes.
or shoes, or stuff like that.
Exactly. Well, nowadays, like I was saying, I mean, a lot of people are losing jobs, stuck in the house all day. They're really dealing with insecurity with social media. People understand. I mean, it'd be easier us to say, but a lot of people are going through something that they're dealing with inner demons.
Yeah.
I just pray for those people. I mean, I know it's not easy, but for people out there who know are going through something or know somebody is going through something, just check up on them just to see how they're doing. The
Oh
simple
yeah, for sure.
conversation goes a long way. You'd be surprised how long a simple conversation, hello, how you been, will it'll take.
Yeah, no, no, I agree. I agree. Like, the reaching hand is always, the extend of olive branch is always good to extend to people, and it has positive and receptive of stuff that that other people need. And I agree, man. Sometimes it does just take a hug, or a simple phone call, or just a simple drop by and like, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Those, especially nowadays, everything's kind of crazy and stuff with the world. Um, yeah, I don't understand what happened, or whatever, but all I know is, like, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Like, we last episode we talked about scammers, and scalpers, and just
Yes.
the chaos of these the console sales and all this stuff. But now it's getting to the point where these people are getting robbed. Like, you know
Yes.
I feel bad for a lot of people that that are getting, like, that are falling into the urge to buy these consoles, for Christmas and the holidays for their kids and loved ones,
Yes.
because that's a lot of pressure on people. Like, they want to get a gift for their family, they want to get
Yes.
something nice, and they want to get something that's desirable. But if you got a bunch of people who are using that to advantage, then people are going to start fighting back and start doing crazy stuff like robbing people or ambushing them or trying to scam them back or something crazy like that. So I
Yeah.
mean, I get the being upset and doing all that stuff, but like we said like last episode, just wait or
Yeah.
try not to like fall into the process of everything, but at the same time, be safe about it. And a lot of these people who are getting robbed for these consoles, you guys got to think about it for people's other perspective. Like they're not trying to spend an extra $500-600 to get these consoles, and that's the risk on both ends. Either you're going to get scammed or you're going to get
Exactly.
robbed or something crazy like that.
Exactly. So also trying to let people know too. I mean, I understand everybody wants to get the biggest gift or to prove somebody that they care about that person. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's as simple a consistency of hey, how are you doing?
Yeah,
That little conversation will go so much farther than the PlayStation 5 any material things.
yeah,
Because a lot of people they believe because grow up like us, grow up in the 80s and 90s, we were, growing up, we were taught, coming from the bottom.
yeah,
Now that we're growing up, and we see these other kids, they they didn't really have it hard as the kids in the 80s and 90s from our perspective overall. A
yeah,
lot of kids they did go through some things, but the kids are growing up like these 2000 babies. They grew up with mostly, how you say, not really been hugged,
yeah.
loved,
So you
and
think
so
that
they feel secure.
you think parents are kind of more showing love through buying stuff rather than actual like physical and
Exactly.
like showing general affection towards their kids? You think it's just more bought, like it's more artificial nowadays rather than actually getting the supplemental love that you would normally get as a child? You think it's mostly just
Ex-
like artificially, like oh, here's a PS5 or here's a TV, I love you.
exactly.
I agree to
Exactly.
to some sense. I agree, but I think at the same time there is good general parents out there. But there is a lot of that though. I'm not gonna lie, because I do see it, and I've been guilty of this as well. But sometimes
Yeah.
like you just want to give them your phone or give them a toy or give them something, so you don't really
Yeah.
have to deal with the battle of arguing with them or dealing with the
Yeah.
battle of like
Electronic babysitters.
really kind of
That's what they
calming
call
them
it.
down and stuff like that.
And I feel it because, like I said, a lot of, especially now with the whole lockdown, everybody is going through, you know, saying kids are doing homeschool, parents
Yeah,
are working home from school. Shout out to the parents who are essential workers like myself.
of
We
course.
have going through work and deal with homeschool, and these teachers have a job to do because they have to meet certain standards. I mean, it's right now. It's a new world, but
Yeah,
people have to realize, take a step back, and say, you know, we need to go back to the basics.
of
Is
course.
hey, general affection with your children. It's not like I gotta prove to my kid I love them by buying the PlayStation 5. I gotta buy them some name brand designer clothes that makes no sense at all. I
Yeah.
mean, you're gonna buy your kid a Gucci belt for $350 when you could put that towards a not even towards a college fund, but put that into a stock. Teach them more to and make money instead of spend money. Because that's what public school does too. They don't teach kids about credit, stock, how to invest, make money. We're teaching kids insecurity, and
Mm.
it's one of those situations where like Black Friday, it's all about spending money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just terrible because Thanksgiving should be about being with your family. I
That's
mean,
what
I
I was gonna
understand.
just ask. Yeah, so I feel like that too. Like holidays now are just more about, like you said, kind of spending money and kind of
Yeah,
being in the middle of the chaos. Like traditions are getting lost. Like people are not really at home now. Spending time with spending time for the holidays with their
mm-hmm.
families. They're out shopping or doing other things. Like I feel like I've seen that too. Like a lot of people would rush to their dinners or not even have dinners at all. They're out shopping or they want to be first in line and stuff like that for certain things.
Yeah, and it's just terrible because I mean, I understand people want to save a buck. I
Yeah,
mean, right now, especially right now, it's hard times. I mean, a lot of people are getting laid off. I mean, Disneyland just laid off another, thousands of employees.
yeah,
So you think about, especially California, where we're at, it just, I mean, right now it's not only a virus lockdown, but it's also a financial lockdown as well. People
Yeah,
can't go to work. People are just going through so much, you know, how you say, uncertainty because they're not sure if they can pay their Wi-Fi bill. Because people understand when you spend money, a toy nowadays with inflation, it's like $30.
yeah.
That's expensive.
Oh, for
30
sure.
bucks for a toy for a little doll, or you want to buy your son a little Buzz Lightyear doll,
Sometimes it's
whatever,
even
that's like
more
50
expensive.
bucks.
Sometimes
It
it costs
is.
more.
It is. But the parents out there, I mean, like I said, it's the simplest, maybe 2 or 3 gifts. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as you bring your kids affection, attention, it'll go way farther than any materialistic stuff. Look what's going on in the Arden.
Yeah,
These kids are getting, shot. Shout out to their parents. I'm so sorry. My condolences go to you guys. But it's just so terrible where the kids are, want to be adults
yeah,
because they feel like they were neglected their whole lives. And
yeah.
next you know,
It's tough.
when the time become adult and parents, they don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
It's just because, like I said, it's a security thing, and all these what's going on with the world is just right now. We just need to take a step back and realize that it's the little things. It's not about materials. It's not about whatever the flashiest things. It's just mostly about attention.
yeah. Basically, stop being grimy.
Exactly, exactly. I
No,
mean, it's
I'm just
2020, people. We're moving backwards. Let's move forward. Love each other.
yeah.
If you're going through something, like I said, just
Put the guns
we're here with you.
down.
Even down description. If you wanted something to vent to us, it's vent. We have the description down below. Also, give us a like and subscribe because not only we want to be there for you guys, but everybody else.
Of
That's why we
course.
call shooting this shit. We just want to have a basic conversation to spark a conversation.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Do you guys have any traditions like as far as Thanksgiving or Christmas for your family?
Christmas is my thing. Growing up underprivileged, as a kid, my thing, I had to have a real Christmas tree. It's
Yeah.
the little thing. I don't care how many gifts I have. I got to get a real Christmas tree. It just symbolizes that it's Christmas, and just the basic things. It's just my little tradition.
That's what's up. Our family, I mean, Thanksgiving is always a big thing. You know, people always come to my mom's house. Your family
Yeah,
always used to come back in the day. A lot of our cousins used to come back in the day, and especially with nowadays, there's a few people that still stop by, but they don't really like come to
yeah,
the dinner anymore. But they all have their families and kind of doing their own thing, which is
yeah.
respectable.
Mhm.
But yeah, like that Thanksgiving was always a time for people to gather at my mom's house and eat the food and stuff, and we'd have our conversations, play football in the front of the yard, and kids would start crying because they're getting hurt.
Well, that's what it's all about. Like I said, family is love, but
And-
like it's Christmas. Like I said, it's just traditions. It's just mostly about, like I said, just spending time with your family. Even
yeah,
though, like I said, stop by, your mom's house, see
yeah,
how it's doing. Then we do our, go to my mom's house to see how she's doing.
yeah.
Just it should be like that every year.
Oh,
But
of course.
Christmas wise,
I feel like
it's beautiful.
it does. Those traditions do die out over years. Like I said, everybody has a vehicle. They have a way of calling or texting, but like it's just kind of
Yeah.
everybody gets lost in their own like world or zone and stuff. Like when I was growing up too, for Christmas,
Mhm.
my dad lives in New Mexico. My mom lives in California, so there was a lot of back and forth with that. Spending Christmas, most years with my dad, but it was only for like 2 3 weeks, and then we would have to go back home. And
Yeah.
some Christmases were good and some were bad, but like I just remember like those days of traveling back and forth, and then as we got older, like my sisters kind of stopped going, and then eventually I stopped going, and I just
Yeah.
look back on them like even though that was like a tradition that we were doing, but at the same time it's like those things do fall off after you kind of start living your own life and kind of it's not really an excuse, but it just kind of happens. Life kind of happens, and like you said, you got to make an
Mhm.
attempt, or at least something
Yes.
in that sort of but now like he hasn't came the last like 2 years or a year or something
Yeah.
like that. But he comes down here now. My sisters and I send for him, and then he comes out here
Yeah.
and comes spends holidays with us. But due to everything that's been going on this year, he hasn't been. He came last year and everything, but
Yeah.
it's tough, man, and it's only getting harder and as time goes on with this COVID thing. But hopefully it subsides. Next year's a new
Yeah.
year. I'm looking forward to see what it holds, and starting new traditions. Do you have any new traditions with your daughter? Do you guys do anything out of the norm or anything different? Like with me, my kids, like I always give them their gifts before Christmas. I am the
Uh-huh.
worst when it comes to giving gifts. I always try to just like I
I
buy
feel
it
it. I
and
feel it.
they're with me and I'm like, that's what you want? Grab it. And they'll have it right then and
I feel
there.
it. I
And
feel
then
it.
by Christmas time, like I have nothing like for them to unwrap. But I mean, they get what they want. So
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Christmas ball being spending time with the family. I mean, yeah, you got your present, you got your gifts. You want to wait till Christmas Eve, or some people do on Christmas. But like I said, it's about the time with the family. It's not mostly about gifts. Like I said, spending time with the family, doing the little things. But new tradition wise, I mean, I was thinking like the last year I started with buying a Christmas ornament. Where
okay,
me and Ari pick a Christmas ornament, and as year go by, we always collect one each year.
dope, dope.
So as you know, as years go on, each year for a tradition is buying an ornament. So
Okay,
maybe as I become a grandpa, me and her can collect a whole tree worth of ornaments. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
We collect this every year.
that's dope.
So it's kind of like something that we did last year. So maybe we'll do the keep continue it. I mean, yeah, sure, reminded me actually, but it's one of those. It's dope because it's the little things that bring the cherished moments.
Yeah. I have a question for the audience, you guys. Let us know some of you guys' Christmas traditions. And I have another question is, do you guys celebrate Christmas Eve, or like when it turns to midnight,
I know.
or do you guys send it on Christmas Day? My family does it on Christmas Day, but I know my girlfriend does it on Christmas Eve. Her family does.
Well, even like with me, like being mixed, Mexican Filipino. On Mexican side, we do it on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
What I mean by that, we have the tamales going, we have the tequila going, we got the Mexican music going,
There you
we
go.
got kids running around at 12 o'clock at night, laying in bed, parents are drinking,
Yep.
gifts already open by 9 o'clock on Christmas Eve just because the parents are doing Lord knows what. But that's how it is. Like you were saying, everybody has their own traditions. We
Yeah.
got people, leaving cookies for Santa Claus,
Oh yeah.
see, then you got the other parents who are playing oldies and making tamales and kids running around crazy on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, two different worlds. But like I
Yeah.
said, long as about your family, that's what it's all about.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So yeah, just let us know in the comments below how you guys spend it and your guys' traditions. Um, what else was I gonna tell you? Oh, so like, what do you like foresee? Like, do you think this Christmas is gonna feel normal, or do you think it's gonna be kind of weird with the whole lockdown thing going on?
It just depends. Because there's some people are still doing their normal thing.
Yeah,
Hopefully everybody's, be safe, stay healthy. Then there's the other people who are doing the social distancing, saying, stay healthy, stay safe, but also, like what we're doing now. There's Zoom, there's video chat,
yeah,
there's, Skype, or communicate with the family, even
yeah,
though it's just through, a little laptop or even your phone device. Spend time holidays like that. This is 2020. People
yeah,
have to realize is that you don't have to keep doing the old, you know, it's not 1990 no more, 1980s. It's
yeah,
2020. There's so many devices where you keep touch with your family. Like I said, it just depends on people thinking this is so political. There's some people thinking, this is a real pandemic, which it is.
yeah.
But it just, it's a billion people in this world. Everybody has their own personal thought. But the main
Agree.
concept is please stay healthy and stay safe.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, man, that's pretty much what it's all about. And I would say like, just be safe and hopefully you guys have a great Christmas, and stuff, and just be careful out there, the whole madness with the shopping and just be kind to each other. Don't be
Exactly.
rude. Don't be crazy over materialistic things. Just be kind and keep the humanity, please. But speaking of
Exactly.
humanity and craziness, did you catch these fights this weekend though?
Oh my goodness. Let's get straight
You
to
guys
it.
didn't know this
Let's get straight
weekend,
to it.
Iron Mike
Nate
Tyson
Robinson.
fought.
No, no, Nate Robinson. People, I know that's the first thing comes to your mind,
Yeah. Well,
but people understand. Well,
let
Nate
me let
Robinson,
me let me tell everybody who fought this weekend. So this weekend
okay.
for the main event was Mike Tyson versus Royjones Jr. And then the co-main event was Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson.
Oh my goodness.
So
I'm sorry,
we'll
people.
start with
Nate
that we'll
Robinson.
start with that vicious, and I do mean vicious, KO of how Jake Paul knocked out Nate Robinson, bro. Like that. Jesus Christ, that was an ass whooping. No, shout outs to him though, because
Man.
he did have the balls to go in there and actually
Yeah.
fight. I mean, Jake Paul did have a professional fight already, and he won that
Yes.
fight against the dude that he fought. And Nate Robinson just went in there blind, man. He dunk contest winner. If you guys don't know who Nate Robinson is, he used to play for, I think it's the, who he used to play for?
Oh, he played. He used to play for when he won the dunk contests. I know he played one with the Knicks, the Bulls, just on top of my head. But
Yeah,
3-time dunk contest. People gotta understand. Nate Robinson, yes, he was a basketball player. This
they were
dude is like
banking that he was an
5'11".
athlete.
This dude, you gotta understand. This dude was a 3-time dunk contest for being what 6 foot, 5'11". This dude crazy athletic. He tried out for the Seattle Seahawks just recently.
Yeah,
I think he tried to go. This is a perfect example, people. I think what it is with this guy, Nate Robinson, he tried to go in there with athleticism, but doesn't understand that boxing takes way more
oh,
technique.
dude, it
Perfect
takes a lot.
example.
Yeah, combat sports is way different from basketball and stuff like that. Like if you're a fighter, you got to have a fight IQ. You got to have you got to have the athleticism behind it. But at the same time, like there's only a handful of people that were athletes that were actually good fighters. Herschel
Right.
Walker, Bo Jackson, um,
Yeah.
Batista.
Yeah.
What's his name? Brock Lesnar. Like those guys were athletes, freak
Yeah.
athletes, but they
Yes.
ended up they ended up knowing like how to like fight as well. And granted,
Yeah.
they as they went on, they did lose, but these people did they had that experience,
Hmm.
and you can't just say like, oh, I'm an athlete, but I'm also from the hood and I know how to fight. Like that means nothing in the ring. Nothing. Like I I, I love competitive sports and stuff, and I love combat
Yeah.
sports. But yeah, it's a whole different world from just doing football, basketball, whatever, wrestling. I mean, even wrestling, like pro wrestling. I mean, those things are different. Like if you get touched on your chin and you've never been touched on your chin, you might go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Exactly.
And we
Well,
saw
let's even analyze in the
that.
fight because when he first started, he came out so aggressive.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is the perfect example, like I said, between trying to use athleticism against technique. Nate Robinson, when he went, he charged at him.
Oh yeah,
Jake Paul stood on his ground
yeah.
and didn't lose his his plan.
And also
He
too, when
stood
he
firm.
hurt him the first time, he didn't start. He didn't rush in on him and make those mistakes of trying to knock him out right away. He knew if he went in there reckless like that, he could have got knocked out. So he did
Yes.
fight a smart fight, and he knew what he was
Yes.
doing, and he used his tools and his ability, and he got the job
Exactly.
done in a crazy fashion at that. Like that,
Hmm.
the way he got knocked out made Snoop holler, "Oh Lord!" Yo,
Oh my!
Snoop Dogg
Well,
had
'cause
me
what it was,
dying, bro. His
yeah. Shout out to
commentary
Snoop.
was fucking
Yes,
legendary.
it was great.
Oh my god, dude. I loved it. Snoop Dogg was the MVP of that whole card. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, his show was dope. There was a lot of good music in that fight card. There was a
Oh
lot of good
yeah, it was
music.
dope.
Um, but yeah, man, that I mean, there's a lot of people calling out Jake Paul now and stuff like that. I mean, if you're just an average Joe, or if you're just another celebrity or YouTuber, I really would take it serious. Just because
Yeah,
you think you can step to somebody. I mean, be careful, man. He's good. He's good, and he's getting better. So I mean,
exactly.
I would just say,
Well,
like,
you know,
if
understand
someone,
too, like Jake Paul, even though everyone knows him as YouTuber, but just doing some research, not even like
yeah,
a month,
because
he
that
was
he,
actually training with professional
oh
coaches
yeah, I mean,
in and
because
out of the gym, taking it serious, conditioning with prep. Even looking at Jake Paul during the fight, even though he won,
yeah,
if you hear him after the fight at three rounds, he was tired.
no,
That lets you
it was
know
only
right
two
there
rounds. It
that
was
he
only
can
two
control the
rounds.
2 rounds. He couldn't really control his breathing.
I mean, no,
So it
he
lets you
looked
know
fine.
that
He looked fine. He looked fine to me, honestly. Like he was doing what he needed to do. He wasn't any point tired. I don't think. I think Nate Robbins or Nate, yeah, Nate was tired, and he was just like lunging, and he was
yeah,
just trying to he was just trying to hold on and make it through these rounds, and
yeah.
he got destroyed. But I would
He,
say for Jake, don't be calling out celebrities because that or not celebrities. Don't be calling out real fighters because that's a whole
oh
different ball
no,
game, bro. Like you're still in the
yeah,
beginning stages. I mean, I know you feel like
yeah,
you're on cloud nine, but at the same time,
yes.
man, be careful who you call out because you might.
There are some people out there. There's
Yeah,
people out there, YouTubers, celebrities. They take this, coaching and boxing
yeah,
stuff for serious,
yeah. I agree.
and like how you say, because when they first fought, um, you see Nate Robinson get knocked out. It should
Yeah,
have been done.
yeah,
Dude said 9. It was a real boxing match.
yeah,
Should have been over.
yeah,
So I understand it was a celebrity boxing. They continued to fight. Look what happened right after. He gets
yeah.
knocked out again.
I
He
agree.
tried to swing at Jake Paul with no stance,
Yeah,
and that's how he got knocked out. It was no stance. He
he
tried
had
to
no guard
swing,
either. When he was throwing his
no
punches, he
guard.
was dropping his hands.
Exactly, and that's where he got caught the second time.
Yeah, I agree. Yo, but yeah, that shit was crazy. I mean, uh, hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he makes a full recovery and
Man, hopefully
bounces
he's not
back
on social media right now.
and
It was just the memes were going
oh
and
my god,
going.
I'm guilty for dropping a couple of the memes. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, I feel for the guy. I get it. Everybody, we all have our day. We either we climb that mountain and we make it, or we don't.
Yeah. But like I
But
said, even for Nate Robinson, it's like I said, it's the beginning stage. And people understand combat sports, you have to leave your pride at the door.
yeah,
If you're serious about it, get back in the gym, get back into
oh
training,
yeah, yeah,
use it as as a lesson. Like, okay, let me take this serious.
that's
You got
right.
the hard part down, you're in the ring. I mean, a
You
lot of
already
people look
felt
at
what it
the pay
feels
per
like to
view.
be there. Yeah.
Exactly. But like I said, this is Jake Paul with like second or third fight already.
Yeah,
So
it's his
like I
third. I
said,
think it's
I
his
seen
third, second or third fight. Yeah,
yeah, he was fighting with being coached by professional trainers.
yeah.
He was also working out with that one young kid. Was it Ryan, the upcoming star
Oh,
kid?
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, he was also training with him. Like I said, you can tell Jake Paul took it serious, and he wants to continue to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And Nate
Yeah.
Robinson, I mean, like I said, he's people understand this dude is crazy.
Well, they saying they
Professional.
he called him out, and did it for the clout, and you can't do that, bro. You can't do
Yeah.
that. Like if you're gonna do something, you got to take it serious, and you know, otherwise, bad things happen.
Who do you think would be a good matchup for
For
Jake
Jake
Paul?
Paul,
Yeah.
I mean, I would give somebody who has like the same record as him, someone that has like two professional fights, and has a decent, I guess, amateur record. Nobody crazy though. I wouldn't give him like somebody crazy like Pacquiao or Mayweather. Like they're trying to
Oh,
make these crazy fights happen and stuff. Like he's gonna get destroyed. And I mean,
yeah.
a lot of people want to see that, obviously, and I know that's going to be the X factor. But if it was like a serious thing, I would like to see him fight someone who has this like the same record as him. Someone's on the same level.
You know what looks pretty dope, and people have to look at too. Damian Leonard from the Portland. This
Yeah.
dude, he's training too. Crazy
Okay.
training boxing.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
another who I'll be looking at too. Shout out to Jake Paul. what he people understand what he's doing from a deeper perspective. He's a YouTuber
Yeah.
now into boxing.
Yeah.
He has a lot. Look how many people came into to watch his pay per view.
Oh
Not
yeah,
because
of
of Mike
course.
Tyson, Roy Jones, but look how many. Look what he's doing to his brand.
Yeah.
He's taking this to a whole nother level.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like think about that. He is the co-main event to Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. Like a lot of
Exactly.
people were saying it's a shit show, that it is
Oh
ridiculous, that
no.
it's embarrassing, but at the same time, those two dudes are legends. And
Exactly.
at the same time, like to be able to even if it was like a celebrity boxing match, like the fact that he was the undercard for that just kind of speaks volumes for
Exactly.
itself. That's how much of a draw and
Exactly.
how much people have eyes on this kid.
And like you were saying earlier, dude, the good music was good. You had
Yeah.
Neo singing national anthem. You had Wiz Khalifa. You had French Montana.
Snoop Dogg.
Sway Lee came out as a surprise. That was dope when Sway
Yeah.
Lee came out.
YG.
So yeah, YG. Then you got Snoop doing the commentary.
It was dope.
It was dope. It was really entertaining and it was also fun as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. And let's get into the main event, man. So Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. At first glance, I was like, this looks stupid. Not in the sense of like
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be a bad fight, but
yeah,
I've never known Roy Jones Jr. as a heavyweight. He's always been like a middleweight or super
yeah,
middleweight or whatever. But I guess he
yeah,
has fought at heavyweights. That just little or light
yeah.
heavyweight or something like that. That just shows little what I've paid attention. But he was the man in the '90s, man. That dude was
Oh my
killing
god.
people.
Yeah, it
Like you
was.
said,
But
y'all
people
must have
understand.
forgot. Do you remember that song he dropped? Y'all must have forgot.
Yeah,
But
that's his intro song too. I
he
think it
looked
was.
decent. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't like too impressed with his performance. I mean, he was sticking and moving. That is his style, but he didn't do
Yeah,
anything significant. Like he did a couple of flurries here and there, get a couple of stiff jabs, but Mike Tyson, man, was a freaking animal. Like
yes, it was.
52 or 54 years old,
54.
54 years old and doing the damn thing, bro. Putting in work like crazy. Dude, my man was in there throwing vicious body shots, going for the kill upstairs, bro. Like Mike Tyson, bro. Hats off to Mike Tyson. That man is a legend for a reason, but he looked like a damn monster on Saturday.
And people realize what he was doing is 54 years old.
Exact.
There's
And
people who are 52 or 50 years old don't even have majority of their teeth.
bro, there's people that
This
are
dude lost
32,
100
34
pounds.
years old. I couldn't even do those rounds. I'm 34 and I couldn't even do those rounds.
This dude was lost 100 pounds. Look at his training conditioning videos. Roy
Oh.
Jones Jr. was like, OMG. He was like, he didn't realize this dude was this, like I said, he was natural born into it. Mike Tyson been doing this since he was like 17, or maybe correct me wrong, but like 18 was ready champion, or no, 20 ready champion,
Yeah.
heavyweight. And this guy hasn't fought in 15 years.
Yeah.
And look what he was doing.
That's
When Roy
crazy.
Jones Jr. had his sprouts, when he was trying to do a little flurry, you can tell it got Mike mad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When he was going at Mike, he thought twice because Mike was like, hold up. When he was doing his little agility, Mike, this dude is 54 years old.
Yeah.
He's moving
Yeah.
like that, hitting. I was like, oh my goodness, this is impressive.
Yeah. It was nuts, dude, to see him moving and to, his athletic ability at that age, man. Like, and I listened to a couple of his, podcasts where he was on with people, and he says he doesn't like who he becomes when he starts fighting or training. He says he
I seen
becomes
it.
obsessed and he becomes like a whole different person. And I see that because if you listen to his like podcasts or see him like, recently on Joe Rogan or something like that, he's like just a chill stoner. He was like, he's just a funny, chill guy. And then once you start seeing him as back in training form and boxing, you could just see the aggression on him, and you could just see like how he was just no bullshit, all business. And then right after the fight, you could just see how chill he was again because it was over. And he's like, he even apologized to Roy Jones Jr. I'm like, bro, why are you
Yeah,
apologizing? You just beat the
yeah.
hell out of him. And I mean,
Well,
the
that's the
whole
thing.
decision that it was a draw was bullshit. Like Mike Tyson put it
Yeah,
on him for all the rounds, was the busier fighter, controlled the pace, the distance, everything, was doing work. Roy Jones Jr. had his moments, but Mike
Yeah.
Tyson was just on point the whole night, and those
Yeah.
judges should be ashamed of themselves, to be honest. But I mean, it's
It was
it's the
for the people.
business. It's entertainment. I know they did that for the awe factor, and they want people to tune in for another celebrity boxing match with Mike Tyson versus whoever, or even them run it back and try to make more money. And it's kind of just like beating that horse at the beating that dead horse with the same stick. And it's like a lot of people
Yes,
are like, we don't want to see that. We saw it already, and we saw what happened. And
exactly.
even after the fight. They're asking Mike, you want to run it back? He said, I'm down. But Roy Jones Jr. was like, I ain't trying to do this shit again.
Well, that's the thing too. When Mike Tyson was beginning his career, he had the legend boxing trainer Casamado. This dude
Yeah.
would hypnotize Mike. That's when he hear the bell, he becomes a whole different
Oh,
beast.
yeah, 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 for
This dude
sure.
hypnotize him. This dude will teach him the peekaboo kind of boxing stance,
Yeah,
where he was a vicious pit bull.
yeah,
And I see what I say where he's coming from. Like he doesn't like the person becomes a bee.
yeah,
So even before this fight, Mike Tyson was never training at all.
yeah,
He was on his butt, being a piehead, and when he came back, people say he lost 100 pounds. Roy Jones Jr. He fought like 2 years ago. I forgot what his opponent was. Roy Jones Jr. was a beast.
yeah.
That was a fight that should have happened in the 90s. This is the
Well,
reason why it did happen.
he like the last time Mike Tyson fought was like 15 years ago. The last time Roy Jones Jr. fought was like 3 years ago. But Roy Jones Jr. got knocked out the last time he fought. He actually he got knocked out of the ring, and he like almost
Yeah.
landed on his head when he got knocked through the ropes. It was bad.
Well, okay, see, this is what people understand. Like Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. was the boxing match that we never got. Mike
Yeah,
Tyson obviously went to prison. Then Roy Jones Jr. ran through the '90s. 3 belts to 3 different weight classes, and I believe Mike Tyson last fight was, well, I think with Tupac, wasn't it? When Tupac got murdered.
no, 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 no. He
No, that
fought
one.
a lot. He fought a lot after that. He got beat his last fight when he retired. He actually quit. He was on he was on his
Yeah.
stool in between rounds, and he's like, I don't have the passion for this no more. I don't want to do it. And then they stopped the fight, and then he lost that fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what Customato. He's the one who, trained Mike Tyson. I think even going back to our first beginning of our conversation about, mental health, that's what Mike Tyson was growing up. He was a
Yeah,
knucklehead kid,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
Customato took this kid, brought him, gave him confidence. And he became Mike Tyson, who became to be. Mike Tyson, he didn't really want to box. When Customato started training him at the boxing gym, and he just became a beast. And it's one of those like he knew that this kid was going to be something. And
yeah.
just
No,
so
it
people
was crazy to
realize,
kind of see that, and for him to come back and everything, and just put on a clinic and just show you guys, no matter what your age is, it's not impossible to get back in shape or to keep doing what you love and what you're passionate about. Um, like I just think that's dope. Big shout out to Mike and Roy for putting on a great show. Like the card was great and the pay-per-view was dope. It was full of laughs and it was full of, excitement and good just display of athletic ability. And even the undercard the undercard fights were really good. There's some really good boxers out there that are up and coming, and that it's gonna make a new era of boxers that are gonna be coming out. So keep an eye out for those guys.
yeah, it was dope. It was good overall. And what did Snoop say? He said it looked like two grandpas fighting at the barbecue.
No, his two uncles fighting at the barbecue or family reunion or something like
Oh
that.
my goodness, this is hilarious, dude.
Hey,
But
if
they
my
were going
uncles
at
can
it
fight
though.
like
They were
that, I
going
would
at
I
it.
would be scared as hell. I wouldn't even say anything. I wouldn't try to break that shit up. I'm like, nah, I'm good, G. You got it. Handle that. And we have some uncles
Yeah,
who fight. Trust us.
man, it was hilarious. But like I
Oh
said,
man,
people understand like when they went, yes, it was 2 minutes and was what 6 rounds, eight
it was
rounds.
8 rounds.
It's just 8 rounds. Put it in this perspective. When Conor McGregor fought Mayweather, Conor was a pure athlete, UFC fighter. This dude was drained fighting
Yeah,
against Mayweather.
yeah.
Just to see Mike Tyson and Roy Jones doing at
And
the age of 50.
Roy Jones Jr. was done. He was tired. He looked like it, but Mike was ready, bro. Mike was ready to do a whole 12.
Exactly, he was too. He was.
And it just kind of, like you said, kind of goes to show, like, if you take it serious, you train, you do what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to say that Royjones Jr. didn't train, but we did see the just how lopsided that fight was, in my opinion.
If Mike was 3 years younger, same age as Roy Jones Jr., do you think it'd have been a whole different outcome?
No, I honestly don't, because Mike
You don't think
Tyson is
so?
just the type of dude that's who he is, and he's a beast, man. I'm not gonna say like discredit Roy Jones Jr. and say he's not good, but Mike Tyson's just a whole another animal, man. Like there's only a seldom few people who can mess with Mike Tyson, and when those people that did beat him, I genuinely believe that he said he lost the passion and love for fighting. That's
Yeah.
why he lost. But if he had was that same mentality when he was in his 20s, whatever, he'd still be knocking
Yeah.
people dead, man. That's
Oh,
just my
okay.
opinion.
But what was that? I think I heard something where Mike said Mike didn't lose; he beat himself. He
Yeah,
lost himself.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's true. I seeing that on Saturday made me a believer.
Yes. Because like I said Mike was, dope, and like I said, even give Roy Jones, a lot of credit. He was moving pretty good for his age. But Mike, you see, he held a lot back. Maybe because of age, maybe he would just want to take a step back and not become the old Mike where he used to be. Because people understand Mike was crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it just goes to show, like I said, and these dudes were legends. So, big thank you, big shout out to them for doing it, and putting on a great show and a great card for us to watch, and it was entertaining, and all the people that were a part of it. But yeah, man, I mean, I that was an awesome, dope show to watch, and I hope if they do something like that again, that it just continues to be great like that. Um, do you have anything left to say? I mean, that's pretty much the end of our time and episode today.
I want to say, not only between me and you, even drop down the description, who would you want to see fight next? Two celebrities.
Between celebrities or like
Yeah,
boxers?
two celebrities. Two celebrities.
Um, you know
Actors,
what, bro? I'm a huge fan
comedians.
of this beef. I want to see Eminem fight Machine Gun Kelly.
You think so? I don't know. I mean, nah.
Yeah, I
That
think
won't.
that'd be a dope fight for some reason. Or
That's like
I would like to
like
see
Matt Barnes versus Derek Fisher,
huh?
kind of thing. Matt Barnes versus Derek Fisher.
Oh my god. I think Matt Barnes would put hands on. Matt Barnes is from the hood, man. Or who somebody I think LeBron, someone said something about LeBron fighting John Jones or something like that. I
Oh
know John
no,
Jones would beat the shit out of LeBron, bro. Like,
he better spend $10 million on his body.
yeah, you don't want that smoke, man. You just don't do it. Don't do it. But I don't know, man. I mean, it would be
What
those
do you
two,
think?
or like
Oh, go ahead.
or somebody that has like real, like, oh, Mario Lopez, he's a good boxer. Maybe Mario
Is he
Lopez versus like somebody
Kevin
like,
Hart?
huh?
Kevin Hart?
Oh no, man. I don't think Kevin Hart would get his butt whooped, man. That
I
maybe,
don't
I don't know. Maybe
know.
that actually might be a good fight, but I think Mario Lopez is bigger than him.
But yeah, but you look at his highlights. I mean, look at Kevin Hart. This dude's working out every
I know that,
single day.
but Mario Lopez actually has like fights under his belt.
Oh, does he really? I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know
He,
that.
he's been boxing for a long time. He's good. He's actually a really good fighter.
Oh, damn. Maybe like what?
Maybe
Like Roy
Kevin
versus.
Hart versus Little Duval. Living my best life.
Man, that'd be hilarious
That
though.
would be
That'd
great.
be
That'd be
hilarious.
funny. But
What
yeah, I don't
about
know. What about you?
what about celebrity UFC? Who would you think
That
who should fight?
to fight?
Yeah,
Oh man, that's hard as this to say, man. I
I would
mean,
see like Joe Rogan versus Mark Wahlberg. How do you think that would be?
Joe
Mark
Rogan.
Wahlberg's in
Like you see, that's the difference though. Like Joe Rogan. I mean, maybe actually that might be actually a decent fight. Joe Rogan and Mark Wahlberg. They're like the
Mark
same
Wahlberg's
size and
pretty good
size and
athlete.
everything. Yeah. Then they both fought before, so that might actually be a
Yeah,
decent fight. That'd be
I don't
dope.
know.
They'd never
You
do
think
it, but
so?
that'd be a cool fight to see.
But people, you think people underestimate Joe Rogan as athlete, as a UFC fighter? I heard he's a pretty good UFC fighter. Not a UFC
He's
fighter,
not
but
really a mixed
actually,
martial artist, but he's. I mean, maybe he is. I don't know. Like I've seen little videos of him doing like jujitsu and you know I think what is he does some kind of like taekwondo, But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I heard he has some crazy good kicks. He's like one of the craziest kickers in the world. But I don't know, man. I don't know about a complete fighter. Like it's hard to say, to be honest. But
Uh-huh.
I mean, celebrity matchups. It just depends, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't honestly couldn't tell you like right off the bat. Megan the Stallion versus Tory Lanez.
Hey, you never know. That's what I'm saying. So everybody need to down below description. Like I said, we're
Yeah,
just shooting this shit.
yeah. Let us know what you guys would like, a celebrity fight you guys would want to see. Like I said,
Exactly.
this is it for us today. I hope you guys enjoyed shooting the shit with Killer Shine and my man JP. Leave a like, subscribe, share the video, tell everybody, your grandma, Billy, everybody about the pod. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that, peace.